It occurred to me yesterday that I was starting to get the circus clown hairdo again, so you know what that means. Time for another haircut. Welcome to episode 94.
In today's video, I'm gonna look at a couple of things I saw on Twitter and just comment on them. I got some things I got to do today. I got some calls to make and stuff like that. But basically, this video, there's three things I found on Twitter this morning that I wanna talk about. So that's kind of what we're in store for. It'll be kind of thoughtful, you know, and a little dash of day in the life. Right now, I'm gonna go get some water softener salt, and then I'll talk about one of these tweets when I get there. On my way, I got this little clip of video yesterday. Temperature had dropped really fast and it rained. So here's a little interesting. I thought this was kind of a very interesting little clip of after the rain. So kind of a little foggy thing on the asphalt. I thought that was kind of cool. All right, the first quote I'm going to react to. This is a Maya Angelou quote. Today apparently is Wednesday Wisdom, which is I guess you're supposed to put out hashtag Wednesday Wisdom if you have something wise in your tweet. So this is a Maya Angelou quote, and I really appreciate a lot of things Maya Angelou. I used to do a lot of quotes on my Twitter account. So this is Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will not forget how you made them feel. I have thought this is a very, very true. I've seen the quote before. I've thought about this quote before, and it really fits in my paradigm of interacting with the world. People do not want to feel bad. That's kind of a basic fundamental principle. And if you do things to set people at ease, to make people feel appreciated, to make people feel heard, to make people feel like you actually care, they will remember. They will remember people who made them feel special or significant or relevant, and that's it. And the negative is true as well. If you're harsh and cruel and fussy all the time, people will remember how you made them feel. They will remember that they always felt uncomfortable around you. So think about those teachers that you remember from high school and middle school, and you probably can remember very few anecdotes of what they did or what they said, but you can remember a feeling that you had when you were around them in a way they set you at ease. So I always try to make sure that my students and the people that I interact with, make sure they know that you know, I'm interested in them and I appreciate them, and I respect them, even if we're completely different and do completely different hobbies and things like that. So hopefully that comes through in the way that I interact with people. All right, so there we have the Maya Angelou reaction. Great quote. So I already turned the car off. I'm gonna go get some softener salt. Do this. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. I occasionally feel compelled to illustrate my utter failure as a parent with stories. And today's example comes from my oldest son, who out of the blue sends this text message. He sends this text message just completely out of the blue. He says, "I wonder what the longest continuous piece of rope is. And what is it used for? Or did they make it to just have the longest continuous piece of rope?" This just boom pops up out of the blue. He's in a text conversation with his brother and me, and he was just, I guess, just sitting there making a sandwich or something, thinking, I wonder what the longest continuous piece of rope is. Anyway, so I shared this with my stepdaughter's boyfriend. He kind of furrowed his brow and looked at me, and he was just like, "Why?" And I really don't have an answer. It's probably the way he was raised. But yeah, so just out of the blue. And also just clear any doubts up. I cleared it with him before I shared the story, so he knows I'm going to do this. Longest continuous piece of rope. I should also say that further down, he apparently Googled it to find the answer, and it was tug of war in Asia. It was 251 meters long, something like that. There's a 5,000 meter electrical cable. So yeah, he Googled it. So I've come to the Grand Kankakee Marsh, which is one of the places I like to come sometimes and do vlogs and whatever. And I'm gonna walk over to the boat ramp where the river is. So and then I'm gonna comment on a couple more of these Twitter responses. So I'll head over there. So somehow I managed to leave my Gorilla Pod in the car, so that's what we're doing. It should work. This should go perfectly well. Two quotes from Wednesday Wisdom I'm gonna just kind of react to. First quote says, "It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation." I'm not sure about that. I think it's better to try and be original than it is to not try. but failure can cost you a lot of money. Failure can cost you a lot of pain. That's not necessarily a good thing. I like the sentiment, the idea of originality and creativity, and not just following the same old, and not just being a derivative, you know. Imitation, though, if success is what you're going for and you need, you know, I don't know. But I like the sentiment. Be yourself, be who you are, be original, don't just follow the crowd. The crowd sometimes is just jumping off of a cliff into nothing. And do you want to jump into nothing with them? Maybe you can be original, and I don't know, I kind of like it, kind of don't like it. It's a good quote. It's a nice, one of those good motivational things. It's like, be yourself, be original, better to fail original. Okay. The next one. This is Wednesday Wisdom number 3. I want to react to this. One of the best pieces of advice I ever received came from my mother. Don't miss the moment. So that's the Wednesday Wisdom. Don't miss the moment. I like that one. I wanted to end on that. What exactly is the moment? It's that little brief period of time when your toddler toddles up to you with the weeds in his or her hand, and they have discovered weeds, and there is that moment, and if you miss that moment, so many things can happen in the blink of an eye, that if you don't just stop for a second and pay attention, then are you saying, don't be curious? Are you saying to that child, don't explore? Or your explorations and your ideas are not important? Who knows what in that little sliver of time might transpire? And I'm not making a bigger deal out of it than it is, because it is a big deal. The moment is when your teenager comes up and says, are you busy? And for just this brief moment, there's something they want to connect with you on. There's a question. There is something they want to show you. There's something they want to share. The moment is when you're sitting at the birthday party and you look across the room and you see the grandchild talking to the grandmother, and there is a connection there, and you see it, and you can feel that connection. And if you don't attend to that, if you don't attend to that moment, whoosh, it's gone. Don't miss the moments. Don't miss the moments. Someone older than me once, when my kids were growing up, said to me and the kids' mom, and we said, you're spending too much time worrying about whether the socks are folded and not enough time attending to the kids. It's the old stop and smell the roses. If you're too busy on that path, if you're too busy trying to be, you're gonna miss that moment. Don't miss the moments. Don't miss the moments. Don't worry about all of the minutia when that moment comes along. And you gotta have the radar to sense it. So, all right, Grand Kankakee Marsh. I did a little B-roll to get here, to come down. I'm just a few paces past the boat dock. I found this thing to prop the camera up on. Apparently it is some kind of a pump that can pump water into the ponds up there. So Grand Kankakee Marsh. I came here several times in the winter. It's a pretty cool place. If you're in Lake County, check it out. Thank you for checking out this vlog. Hope you enjoyed it. Try to do some creative things with it today. And if you did enjoy it, please click that like button. Share this video with someone else who may need to stop and experience the moment or something else. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Again, those likes are so important. Those are so important at this stage in the channel's growth. Every like is very, very important. So please, if you would, even if you didn't like it, hit that like button. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
So a comprehensive search of the Tahoe has not resulted in finding the gorilla pod. I'm gonna have to go look for it. I'm not sure which I prefer. Having dropped and lost it, or having forgot it in the first place. I don't know. I got it back, so I'm still a YouTuber.